It's time for a good old-fashioned Q&A, MMA fans.
People asked us to stop switching cameras.
It's
quite the difference.
And so
to hear from the man
I'm a man of the people.
Ariel
I listen
Helwani.
when the people complain, and they said,
Live from the Box
screwing
Studios
them
in
up.
Do a little
New
dance?
York City. It's
Thank you,
on
that's
the
better.
nose. And now, to answer your questions,
This is way better, right?
This
This is
on your feet because here he is.
I like the camera
Ariel
switching.
Helwani.
We don't want anyone to get hurt.
There were a lot of complaints. And I'm assuming that in the comments for this, there'll be a lot of praise, right?
Yes.
That's usually how
there
it
will
works.
probably be more complaints about your dancing.
Yeah, or that. And then I bet you there'll be people saying, oh, I missed the camera switching. You know how it goes. Frank, we do have some breaking news right off the bat. Question one, as Lewis is telling me here, thank you as always to moderator Lewis, is back to being question one. You get what I'm saying? The first person to post a question.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, is the first one up. What's up, Ariel? What a weekend. This is from James. And easily my favorite night of fights this year. One thing that sparked my interest after the fights was Eddie Alvarez tweeting at Michael Chandler in the UFC suggesting that he wants to finish the trilogy with Chandler. Dana seemed to dismiss the idea of bringing in Eddie, but I think it would be a great idea for the UFC to invest in 3 to 4 Eddie fights. What do you think of the idea of bringing him back, and how much of a chance do you give it of actually happening? I'm okay with it. I mean, Eddie's a legend, and there's obviously some fights for him in the UFC. I'd be shocked if they bring him back. Number one, Dana was asked about it, and he didn't seem too keen. He said, we're trying to bring in younger guys, not really veterans. Eddie had his run here, and I just don't see them doing it. Not that they are holding a grudge against him. He left. He did his thing. I think he wants a couple of big paydays, and then he wants to ride off into the sunset. To me, maybe a PFL play, maybe a one-off here or there. But personally, I would be very surprised, and I'm not hearing of any talks with the UFC, and I don't foresee any talks. Not that I wouldn't want it. Not that I don't think he deserves it. I would be very surprised. Could it happen? Sure. But right now, nothing going on in that regard. And I personally, right now, don't foresee anything going on in that regard. Another bit of breaking news. Wanted to let you guys know that this is courtesy of my good friends over at Karate Combat, that Raymond, the real deal Daniels, is going to be going up against Rafael Agahayev. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly, at Karate Combat 37, Saturday, December 17th at the Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. Of course, Raymond Daniels, one of the all-time great kickboxers, and had that incredible knockout in Bellator back in the day. Both of them consider themselves the best ever. And according to my friends at Karate Combat, this is akin to Randy Couture versus Fyodor Emelianenko or Khabib versus Ferguson. Striking fans have been wanting this for a very long time, like boxing fans wanted Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. So you're getting it on December 17th. Raymond Daniels returning against Rafael Agahayev. Now, I also want to let you know, because everyone likes to tell me these things, that the 14th Annual World MMA Awards are going down December 8th in Las Vegas at the Sahara in Las Vegas. You guys going to that Thursday, December 8th at the Sahara? Anyone going? I think we're nominated.
Yeah, oh yeah. MMA fighting nominated for a lot of things. Get your tuxedo ready.
You and Frank are going?
Duh.
Yep.
Wow. Thanks for the invite, guys.
We'll accept on your behalf.
Yeah.
That'd be great. By the way, if you are going, I'd consider going too.
Oh, okay.
Jacob Kruger asks, good afternoon, Ariel. Take out your crystal ball and predict the main events for the first 4 pay-per-views of next year. UFC 284 is already announced. So please hit us up with what you expect at 283, 285, and 286. Jesus. I know what 283, 285, and 286 are. It didn't even happen. I have to look this up. So which one's 283? UFC 283. That one. Okay. The Brazil one. Well, I continue to say, right now it's Davison Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno. I continue to say that I think that it should be Valentina versus Amanda. Who has an issue with this? Why won't we do this? I don't get it. So that's what I would book. for 283, although the clock is ticking. That's January 21st. So we got about 2 months. Not impossible, but got to hurry up. We know about 284. That's Islam Makhachev versus Alex Volkanovski. 285 is March 4th. The one they want for that is Francis Ngannou versus John Jones. Obviously, a lot has to happen, but if I'm going to put it out there, okay, I want to see Francis Ngannou versus John Jones. And then 286 is still TBD, but I'm going to say Leon versus Kamaru. We don't know if the UK card is going to be in March, in April, Cardiff, London, Nottingham. Imagine it's at the City Ground. Oh, City Ground, you'll never, never tell them. Oh, City Ground. Scott F. asks, good day, Ariel. 2 quick ones. What's next for Dustin Poirier? I think I speak for the entire MMA community when I say I'd love to see him win an undisputed title in his career, but I wonder if they will immediately book him against the winner of Volk versus Islam due to his performance in the previous title fight. How would you book Dustin's next fight or two? Really great question. Obviously, we have to see what happens in the title fight. I like the idea of him versus Beneil. Hasn't fought him. Beneil needs that big win. I like that a lot. So I'm going to say that fight. And then the second question is, at this point, Roman Reigns has been built up to be unbeatable. Disagree. Who do you think in the current WWE roster would make sense as a formidable foe for the head of the table? Brock versus Roman has been beaten to death. No thanks. And I would like to see some new angles for the big pay-per-views. I mean, the big one is The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. I would love to see that in Los Angeles. Otherwise, perhaps Cody Rhodes. Otherwise, what about Bray Wyatt? And I will say, I hope this doesn't upset anyone, especially with the narrative out there that I'm, Mr. WWE. I'm not really feeling the Bray Wyatt return just yet. I feel like there's something, I don't know. I wanted the old school Bray Wyatt, and I feel like we're getting Wyndham Rotunda, if you get what I'm saying. I don't know. There's something about it that's missing, but that could be something somewhat fresh. I know he has a history from back in the day. Cody Rhodes hopefully coming back. So there are options, and I don't agree that he's quote unquote unbeatable. At some point, he's got to drop the title. I don't think there's a need for it right now, but I do think by WrestleMania time, it might be good to freshen things up. Andres, good afternoon, Ariel. Ooh, this is exciting. My question this week is regarding the World Cup. Oh, I'm so excited. My question this week is regarding the World Cup. I would love to hear you and GC's picks to win the World Cup. Oh, funny you should say that, other than US and Canada. Frank and Rick are more than welcome to share their picks as well, as long as Rick stops with his terrible takes such as, and I quote what he said in a past show, the World Cup isn't as big as it used to be. I don't know if that was a direct quote, but yeah. Did he actually say that? Even Lewis adds the footnote, I don't care for the New York Rick slander, agreed, but this comment was a doozy. Did he? GC, did he say that?
I don't think it was word for word. It's not as big as it used to be. I remember calling him out when he was talking about it. I think it's the fact that you can watch everything on demand. There's so many options to watch.
The World Cup is a big deal. Now, I'm curious about the ratings this time around because it's in November, December, so this isn't really World Cup season. But that Black Friday game between England and the U.S., what is that going to do ratings-wise? 30 million, 40 million?
You have to think it's going to do just insane numbers. Everyone at home.
Yes. I'm getting giddy just thinking about it. And I do want to let you all know, next Wednesday's show will be airing live at 11 a.m. and will be done by 2 p.m. Eastern time. And there's only one reason for that. Because for the first time in 36 freaking years, the red and white, the Maple Leaf, will be competing in a World Cup match against Belgium at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And there's just no way in hell that I can be sitting here doing anything other than watching that. I need to hear the anthem. I never thought I would hear the anthem. I never thought I would hear it at a World Cup match. Of course, I never thought I would see Team Canada play in the World Cup. And I have to be there when they shock the world and beat Belgium in their first game. So special start time next Wednesday. It will be a good show. We've got a couple people coming in studio. More on that. Beginning at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. in the UK, and wrapping up before Canada plays Belgium on Wednesday. I can't wait. We're all going to watch it together here. Should we do a watch party? No, I
we
can't.
can adjust for Canada, but can't adjust for USA Wales. Okay.
Listen, it's actually really interesting that you say that because I've put this out there for the last few weeks. Like we need to figure this out, and finally I just kind of
for all the teams
took matters into my own hands. Not once until this very moment, and I was wondering if someone, because the three of you that I was talking about this to, Frank and GC and World Cup hater New York Rick, who I didn't expect to bring this up. Not one of you said, "Oh, by the way, U.S. is playing on Monday," and now you bring it up. Now you bring it up.
That was put into your equation of Canada. I see a Canadian flag on the set. I also see an American flag, American-based show.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
We were talking American politics earlier.
Yeah. Should we get into that?
No.
I think we should.
I would be happy to. I'm not.
Maybe there'll be a question in the OTN.
Yeah. So. Listen, if you want to take Monday off, by all means. Also, you have the luxury of watching it back there, and
that's what we do when you're on air. We just actually.
I don't ask questions.
In fact, Joe, can you change the channel real quick?
It's gonna be great. I got my kids the Panini sticker book. You know that? You guys know about it? Yeah.
Love Panini.
It's big. Yeah, we do. Anyway, New York Rick telling me that he did not, in fact, say that.
There has been a lot of slander. When you said that you were going to move the show, he was like, throw it on a dingy monitor in the studio and keep it rolling.
Wow. Yeah, he wasn't in favor of the time change.
Did he say anything after I proposed it, or
what proposed?
Because he was like, "We'll put it on a monitor and be done with it." And I was like, "We should move the show earlier."
Yeah, I appreciate that. He said, "I said people don't collectively watch things together like they used to, but of course, a goober clown like that would say that." Anyway, it's interesting that Andres, who I do not think is a goober clown, is asking this question. Why? Because GC actually made some picks yesterday. Yeah. Are you willing to share these?
Of course. I would say do not tail me in these endeavors. This is simply for fun and biased. I took Argentina. One last ride for Messi. I think
to win it all.
Yeah, to win it all. I think they've won 36 straight matches now. They're trying to tie Italy's record. I took France. C'est la vie.
Wait, multiple picks?
Yeah, it took 3 teams to win it all. They're obviously all at different odds. I took Argentina plus 550, France plus 750, and then a little longer shot, riding with my guy Christian Eriksen.
Oh.
Took Denmark plus 3,400.
Wow. You sent me this, and then I was like, oh. Like nothing.
No Canada.
We could just kind of be in it together.
But then I also did a little parlay action on to advance from the group stage.
Oh.
I did USA, Denmark, Senegal.
Oh.
Saudi Main, shout out. Plus 405. Sure. And I did that same one and added Switzerland, great country, plus 911. So they'll all probably lose, but I'm going to have a fun time cheering them on.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to watch everything, even the 5 a.m. games. I did this thing on a website. I'm not going to give them a shout out, but there's a website that's doing like pick all the winners and all that stuff, runner up, first place, and then the whole bracket. And Group A, I have Netherlands, Senegal. B, England, US. C, Argentina, Poland. First one that I'm mentioning is the first place. D, France, Denmark. E, Germany, Spain. F, Belgium, Canada. I'm not going crazy. I'm not giving them the first, I'm trying to be reasonable. G, Brazil, Switzerland. H, Portugal, Uruguay. And then we get to the knockout round. I have Netherlands, Argentina in the quarters, Canada, Brazil in the quarters. So Canada knocking off Germany in the round of 16. Canada then playing Argentina. Canada making it to the finals.
Wow, nice. I'm shocked.
England, France, Belgium, Portugal, then Belgium, England. Canada, England final for the Commonwealth, for the Lake Queen. Canada prevailing 2-1 in the final. I mean, what a scene it would be.
Now, yeah, what a scene that would be. How do you feel that Canada currently to advance from the group stages on DraftKings Sportsbook? Belgium minus 750 for Group F, Croatia minus 200, Morocco plus 200, Canada plus 275.
Worst odds?
Worst odds out of Group F to advance.
Listen, would you say plus 275?
Plus 275.
H-Dow.
From the group.
H-Dow.
There it is.
I might have to just, I might have to put my money. Although I feel like I jinx them when I do that.
Yeah, maybe just ride as a fan.
Yeah.
But know that it was there. Know that it was there.
Plus 275 just to get out of the group. It doesn't matter if it's first place or second place.
They're saying Morocco has a better chance.
The disrespect. The absolute disrespect. Morocco? What have they ever done? They don't have Alfonso Davies.
Statisticians are concerned about the respect.
Wow. And that's to advance. Doesn't matter if it's first or second.
Yeah, just to advance.
By the way, what's Canada to win it all?
Man, let's...
Drum roll?
Yes.
Yeah. Canada plus 25,000.
Wow, the absolute disrespect.
A $5 bet nets you 1,255 bones coming back your way.
Should I do it?
I mean, I don't see why not. It's a donation to DraftKings Sportsbook.
Well, I can't wait.
If you put $5 Canadian on it.
Yes. Does it do that math?
I mean, it would net you 1,255 Canadian dollars.
Are you all in? Like, are you going to watch every game and wake up?
I will be watching quite a bit, yes. I mean, Black Friday is a dream day next week. It's wake up, have some leftovers. Me, Frank, Rick. Rick's still a little reluctant, but we're all going to meet up.
Joe, too. Joe wants in.
Joe wants to watch.
Joe's coming. Bar for USA England.
Wow.
Right into PFL championships.
By the way, you can't just like show up to any bar. I watched. I think it was 2000. Which one was it? 02 or 06? Probably 06. I watched a U.S. World Cup game at a bar in Lower Manhattan, and it was insane. And they're way
you mean
more.
they'd be too busy?
Yeah.
I thought you were saying there was a bar that wouldn't be playing.
No. I mean, like you've got to. I feel like you've got to make reservations or something.
It's Black Friday. They're all busy shopping. We'll be fine.
All right. Good luck. With that.
Real quick though, before we move on, like if you were living in Canada, could you bet on any of this?
Yeah. They've got a ton. Yeah.
All right.
There's equivalents, and some of in Ontario it's legal, not in Quebec, but there's equivalents.
Got it. Thanks.
God, I can't wait. JD Ariel, greetings from Calgary, home of the worst pay-per-view of all time, UFC 149. Yes, I don't know if it was the worst to be honest, but certainly up there with Alex Pereira making short work. And by the way, Mazel Tov, Alex Pereira getting his brown belt yesterday, so that should shut up the haters. Making short work of the middleweight division. Where does this rank under most impressive MMA debut campaigns? Debuting 1 year ago and holding the strap already is impressive, regardless of if he was fast-tracked or not. Essentially the quickest path to the belt for a newcomer. Brock comes to mind, but I'm sure I'm forgetting some others. Also, when will the UFC return to the Great White North? Definitely in 2023. Keep up the fantastic work. As a fellow broadcaster, you are a true inspiration to follow. Love the shows. Thank you so much, JD. I mean, it's up there. Obviously, I was going to say Brock. Ronda's up there. Ronda did have the Strikeforce belt, but she was put in that title fight. Do we count the likes of Dom Cruz and Jose Aldo? Maybe not, because they were WEC champs. Brock is probably the closest one to it. Carlo won the belt, but that was Ultimate Fighter. Anderson fought Chris Lieben and then was put into a title fight way back in the day. Rich Franklin. So he's up there. Did you hear that?
It's very lovely. Do you need gum or anything?
No, why gum? I was cracking my jaw.
No.
Weird. But no, it's incredibly impressive. Of course, you must bring up the fact that if Izzy wasn't champ, this probably doesn't happen. But hey, he beat the guys that they put in front of him. Them's the breaks. God bless. Newman. Hello, Ariel. Hello, Newman. After the Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler fight, I saw Dustin shared an Instagram story from Thiago Alves, which showed Dustin's hands being wrapped in the locker room before the fight. There was no tape or padding over Dustin's knuckles. That's true, bare knuckle. And Alves' caption said Dustin was going bare knuckle for the fight. I've never seen this before. Some fighters usually have some padding over their knuckles under the gloves. Is this common in MMA? Rory McDonald and Gunnar Nelson at times didn't even wrap their hands. How about that? Crazy people. So yes, it has happened before. Yeah, and he brings this up. I love this. Can we get a picture of this? We don't have it, but Dustin Poirier was wearing the war hat. And if you type in Marvin Hagler war hat, it's a very famous hat that Marvin Hagler wore. He went to the press conference and they had tape over it, black tape over it. And I was then wondering what it was. And then I saw him do some media before and it says war on it. It's a red hat with war. And this was paying homage to the great, marvelous Marvin Hagler. Is it possible to get like a side-by-side pic of that for the interview with Dustin?
Yes.
If you just type in Hagler war hat, it will pop up. Newman writes, I think Dustin showing up in the Marvin Hagler war hat was an indicator of his violent intentions. I loved it. Perhaps you can ask him during today's interview. I shall. Great question. How about Alex Pereira's walkout? I love the way he walks out in rhythm to that tribal beat while holding his fists in fighting position. When the bow and arrow shot with the scream at the end and he finished it off by throwing the vicious combo, terrifying stuff. He is a terrifying guy, like almost like soulless, right? He's just unflappable. Is Moicano's post-fight interview the current frontrunner for Promo of the Year? You know, obviously it is, but I hate when the I feel like the award shows, which of course we'll be doing in early January, are usually weighted towards November, December stuff, even October. And I feel like stuff that happens in January, February, March, first quarter often get forgotten about. But right now, top of my head, yeah, I mean, that was pretty great. But there have been some great ones this year. But it's definitely up there. Tremendous. And great to see his personality come out. Adriano asks, before my question, wanted to mention that I don't want to get into this crap.
That was the first.
Well, it's just nonsense. Okay, I started reading it, so I have to. Now people are going to wonder what it was. Before my question, wanted to mention that I feel for Laura Sanko this week. The drama of Megan spreading a nasty rumor after an incredible year that Laura has achieved. Then you got Jeff Molina coming out and badgering Megan about being lazy and an alcoholic, and it was quite sad to see, especially after it seems like Megan had a break in her post-fight career working with ESPN MMA. Not sure how far that goes now. Let me just say this. The whole thing was ugly. The whole thing was unnecessary. Disappointing. Laura's doing an incredible job. No one should have their personal life talked about, and especially something that could be that damaging. True or not, I have no idea. Don't care. None of our business. Just silliness. And I even didn't, I understood what Jeff was trying to do. Just nonsense. I'm not a fan of any of that. And both of them, both Megan and Laura, I know they were friends, have great things going on in their respective lives, working in media. No need for any of that. And I don't know how deep this goes, and who am I to talk about any of it? And honestly, I hate that it was even brought up here, to be honest. And I wish that I didn't have to even talk about it, but I don't want you to think that I'm skirting any issue here. Laura's an incredible person. And let me just say, I said this on Friday as well when we had her on our show. Laura, I've worked in media now. I'm no grizzled veteran, but I've been around, 2006, so 16 years. And I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of people on the broadcast side of things. And I will say this about broadcasters, both male and female. We are incredibly insecure. And there is a lot of ego involved, and there's a lot of politics involved, and there's a lot of backstabbing involved, and there's not a lot of teamwork involved, and there's not a lot of support and bringing people up and helping out your friends, your colleagues, your coworkers, your broadcast partners. There isn't a lot of that, believe it or not. There's a lot of shit talking. There's a lot of backstabbing. There's not a lot of support. There's not a lot of, people, there's not a lot of loyalty. And that's why, when I talk about my relationship with Chael and that story about him waiting for me in the car, my relationship with DC, those are really special people and special relationships. You'll never see me talking shit about any of them. Behind their back, too, those are friends, and those are loyal. Those are really loyal people in my life. And I don't have the same relationship with Laura that I do with them, of course. But I will tell you this: Laura is a very, very, very rare breed. She is incredibly hardworking and is kind to everyone, doesn't put anyone down, doesn't make anyone feel bad, isn't mean to the production team, isn't a diva, isn't someone who thinks that she's better than everyone. Like, she is a great human being and deserves everything that she is getting. And hopefully we'll get bigger opportunities in 2023 to be in the booth, to call fight nights and whatnot, not just Contender Series. It's just unfortunate that she has to deal with any kind of hate, including, nasty stuff like that. So I just want you guys to know, like, Laura is one of the good ones. And I wouldn't be saying that if she wasn't. She is one of the good ones. And I have not had any, issues with Megan as well. I like Megan. I just haven't worked with her and don't really know her on that level. But I think she's doing great stuff for ESPN MMA and had that interview with Izzy and CKB team. Just focus on yourself and try to be the best that you can be, and don't try to bring this stuff out there onto Twitter because nothing good comes of it. Thanks for that, Adriano. Now onto my question. The commissioner coming in and changing the scorecard or tampering with it. What a crazy sight. Yes, it really was. Wanted to get your thoughts. And if you can remember something else that happened for the first time in the octagon that you were stunned by. I mean, there's been a ton of things. He also adds, hoping that Canada make it out of the group stage of the World Cup. GC, if you want a good sneaky bet, put Senegal to make the semis. Lewis adds, not so sure they could stand to play USA, England, or Wales in the knockout. Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, we've seen some crazy things. The bag of ice being spilt, that was nuts. But something like that was really weird. The problem is, even if they ultimately got it right, this is for the Karolina Kovacevic fight, it's still going to feel weird because it looked like they were changing the scorecard. Now, we've seen the wrong scorecards being read. Remember Ian McCall versus Demetrius Johnson? That was, that was bizarre. Like, they announced it and then they said, like, oh, we messed it up. We got to go to a draw. Like, the whole thing was very, very weird. So we've definitely seen some things. Now, was this a case of bad math, bad addition? I don't know. But the unfortunate thing is, even if Carolina was the rightful winner, it still feels weird because it looks like they were changing it to get to her being the winner. It was all playing out in front of us. So damned if they do, damned if they don't. Hut, shout out to the MMA Hour crew. Thank you for what you do. Question for GC or anyone. I'm a big fan of Michael Chandler, but watching him fight is like being on a roller coaster of emotions. The back and forth is absolutely amazing and terrifying at the same time. So my question is it better for my health to avoid betting on Michael Chandler fights? Is he not one of the most reckless, for better or worse, fighters in recent memory to bet on?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, if you're going to place a money line wager on Michael Chandler, it's just kind of hold on to the seat of your pants.
You know what's the crazy thing about it? He wasn't always this guy.
At all.
Yeah, like like in Bellator, he had great fights, great performances, but he wasn't close your eyes and just, strap onto your seatbelt because at the end of this ride, he's going to be bloodied, beat up, bruised, black eye. He wasn't that guy. And all of a sudden coming to the UFC, he is, I mean, could you imagine, by the way, a Michael Chandler, Conor McGregor fight in July or something like that? Considering, like, Chandler has now reached a point where the wins and losses, I think, don't really matter for him. He got the title shot, didn't go his way, but, like, he's just Mr., all action, always delivers, never disappoints. And I think he's supremely popular now. People really like him. Chandler versus Conor would be a gigantic fight, and a fight that I think really makes sense for both guys. That would be gigantic.
Sign me up for that. I mean, I think the build-up would be fantastic. I think the fight itself would be fantastic.
So basically, if you're a big Chandler fan, maybe avoid betting on him, just for your own health. Ricky, Ariel, another MSG card in the books. How would you rank all the events at the Mecca so far from best to worst? My personal list: 217 Bisping GSP, 205 McGregor Alvarez, 281 Adesanya Pereira, 44 BMF title, 68 Usman Colby 2, 230 DC Lewis. Also, what are some of your favorite iconic moments from all the events at the Garden? Of course, the standout moments are Conor becoming double champ, GSP's comeback title victory. Another highlight of mine is Kevin Lee head kicking Gregor Gillespie. Whatever happened to him? And what are some of the other highlights that go under the radar that you think people should remember? Well, first of all, I would put 205 first one, and it was historic. Conor, it was just a crazy scene to be at MSG for the first time. So I would put 205 first. I would put 217 second. That hour and a half stretch, Cody TJ, Rose, Bisping GSP, like that was just insanity. So I would put 217 second, 281 third, Adesanya Pereira, Probably 244 fourth, Diaz Masvidal, 268, Usman Colby 2. And DC Lewis, I mean, obviously I was invested because DC my guy, but that was the weakest card by far. And they had to throw that one together on very short notice. Like there was, I mean, Lewis won in October, and then they had to turn him at 229, and then they had to turn him around right away to fight for the belt because they had nothing else going on. I remember DC calling me after my Monday show at ESPN and being like, hey, they offered me this. Should I take it? I can't really move my hand. And he's like, yeah, I'm just going to take it because it's MSG and I'm going to get paid a lot. A lot of big moments. But to me, like that, the 90-minute stretch of those 3 title fights, 217, might be the best 90 minutes in UFC history. Go back and look. Incredible stuff. Matt Mo, bonjour, Lord Ariel, with Yair Rodriguez versus Josh Emmett being solidified for UFC 284 in February. It once again leaves Arnold Allen on the back burner. And by the way, I saw some people questioning my Arnold Allen take. I even asked Arnold, could you have fought in February? And he said yes. So, valid. My question is, was this the right move? If not, and if you had control over the featherweight title picture, what would you have done differently? I mean, I'd like to have seen Arnold in there, but maybe it's for the best. Maybe they really wanted the title fight in February. You put Arnold in the UK, number 1 contender fight. He comes off like a star, and then he fights for the belt later on. But you know what? Now he's going to have to fight twice. God dang. Arnold Allen's not going to get a title shot at least until he wins 12 in a row. I mean, someone could get injured, so you never know. But you'd think the interim champ is going to fight Volk, right? Jeez Louise. That's depressing. I feel like it was the best move they could make in a messy division where the top 3 contenders all had valid claims to the title. The UFC seems to have gone with the 2 higher-ranked fighters. Arnold Allen will undoubtedly get a number 1 contender fight with Max Holloway next. I mean, I don't know if that's undoubtedly, but something big, hopefully. So I don't think it's a complete loss for him, as that will be a giant fight and help Arnold with gaining fans. Yeah, if he gets that fight. If not, maybe a zombie, maybe a winner of Bryce Ilya. Tough fight. If he fights in the UK and gets that hero's welcome, then maybe it's not all for naught. Thanks as always for being the number 1 show in combat sports. Wow, thanks. John and HB, hola Ariel. Is this a must-win for Derrick Lewis this weekend? I have that nervous feeling for him that I had with Dom Reyes last weekend. Sad face emoji. Golly. Who's the favorite right now, GC?
Spivak.
Dang.
Around like minus 200.
Really?
Yeah.
Sheesh. By the way, anything on Invicta tonight or Invicta Wednesday?
Yeah, I'm actually tape studying back here right now, trying to get some last-second plays in.
Perfect. I look forward to that breakdown later in the show. Yeah, the Black Beast in a tough spot. He has lost 3 of his last 4. All stoppages. The last one was a quick one, Sergey Pavlovich. You hope that this isn't the beginning of the end. But yeah, I can see that. I don't know if it's exactly like Dom, but I get your point. And, we all love the Black Beast and hope for the best. Steven. Hey, Ariel, as a Liverpool supporter, I came to be a fan as a kid watching Michael Owen, yes, number 10, when he left for Real Madrid and then Newcastle. By the way, shout out to Newcastle, ending the break, best record in 20 years. I mean, I'm all in. I'm watching everything. I've watched more Premier League soccer, etc., than NBA this year in the last few months. I know NBA season started in October, but you get the point. I was heartbroken, but not devastated. However, when he joined United, I couldn't stand the sight of him. In your opinion, and across all sports, who has been the worst traitor defector from one franchise to another? Also, what up, Frank? Steven.
Hello.
Wow. Lewis adds, to Steven's example, Michael Owen was rejected by Liverpool for a return, hence why he joined United. Context is important in the worst traitor defector discussion. Yeah. The first one that comes to mind is Johnny Damon going from the Red Sox to the Yankees. You guys got anything? Deion Sanders. Didn't Deion Sanders go from the Niners to the Cowboys in the 90s?
Didn't Favre go from the Packers to the Vikings?
To the Vikings is a bad one. Yeah, that was a bad one. Man.
Jordan Bulls to the Wizards. Big R over there.
No. I mean, has anyone been more vilified than when LeBron went to the Heat, right?
No.
Now,
I think a lot of that has to do with how he did it.
Sure, but yes, and the Heat and Cavs weren't rivals, but I mean, burning the jerseys, that was a pretty big one. Durant going to the Warriors.
I was going to say Durant to the Warriors was
that
bad.
might be it, right? Because they were actual rivals
for this day.
They were actual rivals. They battled in the playoffs. That might be the one. Yeah.
3-1 lead the year before.
Yeah, that might be the one.
Yeah, I think KD's the one. I mean, he still gets crap for it today.
People were mad at Bryce Harper for leaving the Nationals to go to the Phillies, but they kind of got over that once the Nationals won the World Series. Football. I thought it was really weird when Thurman Thomas went to the Dolphins, but he was pretty irrelevant at that point. He was older.
When Ilya Kovalchuk went from the Thrashers to the Devils.
It's a great call. Shout out to the Devils. Shout out to the Devils. They've won 10 in a row.
Shout out to the Devils. I'm about to be a Jersey boy. I'm all in on my Devs.
Oh, yeah. My cousin works for them. Could hook you up. Beat the Canadians last night. When are you going to Jersey?
Next month.
Wow. Ooh, New York Rick adds this. Carlos Boozer. That is true. He did. He promised a nice blind man owner, Gordon Gund. He's coming back to Cleveland only to bolt to the Jazz. Not same. That was pretty shitty. Kyrie telling the Celtics fans that he was going to re-sign and then bolting. That was pretty shitty. There's got to be some old school ones too. But I think KD might have been the worst. Big Money, Ariel, I have a quick request for you and the gang. Please rank these epic MMA losing streaks from just a bump in the road to it's getting uncomfortable. Donald Cerrone, Tony Ferguson, Sam Alvey, Dom Reyes, Parlay Pals. Oh, what?
Wow.
That's messed up, bro.
I'm offended.
I mean, we're at the Sam Alvey level right now, aren't we? 8 in a row? Or is it 7 in a row? No,
Wow.
It's 8 in a row. It's 8 in a row. That's how bad it is. We're having trouble remembering how many in a row.
By the way, I would put BJ Penn's losing streak up there. Gilbert Melendez had a pretty bad one at the end. Frankie to a degree. In all seriousness, though, thank you and the boys in the back for another classic episode on Monday that really kept the buzz of 281 going. It was truly special to get Izzy's thoughts on the loss, fighting life, etc. after such a big moment. What a mensch. I agree. I mean, I don't know if you guys truly appreciate just how unique it was. I had a fighter named Jesse Ronson say, you'd be surprised how many fighters would want to come on after a loss. And I wanted to reply, but I was like, what's the point? First of all, I mean, I've been doing this for 16 years. Trust me, the guys fighting at the very, very top aren't that keen to come on after a loss, let alone in studio. It's never happened before. Yes, I know we're not in Las Vegas, so there's only one New York event a year, and it's only been for 6 years. But that was very, 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 very unique. So, much respect. Hope the Pals bounce back and get a W ASAP. Thank you. Same goes for Buffalo and our precious Bills. Thank you.
Oof.
I feel like, can I just put it out there? I feel like Frank is actually rooting against the Bills.
No way.
I actually think you take pleasure in them.
Yes.
Right?
Wait, you get that same impression.
We have a text thread. Only thing that is said on Sunday is once the game is completely done and
There was a couple dots in there.
I am just completely crushed. Friend, Frank, coworker, colleague sends 3 dots. Like, what are you trying to say? You want to comment? Or to me, it's like, It's sort of like a
Can I be completely honest on Sunday?
Yeah.
So getting ready to watch the game, I actually fall asleep before the game. I wake up, I tell my wife, I'm like, hey, go ahead and watch the game without me. I'm sorry. I wake up in the fourth quarter, and I'm like, everything looks great. She's excited, I'm excited, and the whole thing just starts to turn around, and it was pretty upsetting.
What does Bills stand for, Frank? Tell me what you told me.
When I lived in Texas,
preseason.
No way.
They used to call it, boy, I love losing Super Bowls.
Wow.
It's not like I created that.
Can I say something? I feel like, I'm going to go deep here. So just, you told me that your wife's family really loves the Bills, right?
Right.
I think that there's a little bit of animosity there, and you want them to be upset.
Oh man, that's so messed up.
Is there anyone worse that they act like they're like cheering on either your team or your bets or something, but deep down you can kind of get that sense they're cheering against them?
Yes.
I have the jersey.
So
you didn't buy
my
it.
wife bought that for me.
But I wore it. All right.
I mean, we all wear things that,
We're watching the game on Sunday, Connor. So We got this. It's fine.
Can you just acknowledge the fact that you actually are happier when they lose than when they win?
That is not true. No, I'm actually
you secretly rooting against them?
I have to admit that this is probably the first full season that I have been paying attention and have been moved by the games and this sort of. It doesn't feel good when we've lost 2 in a row. I'll say that.
You're really gonna say we?
I mean, it doesn't feel good when the Bills have lost 2 in a row.
I can't wait till he texts his anti-Bills group chat, but he accidentally texts our.
It's actually blowing up my phone right now.
Who's in that? No. Joe and Alex?
No. Joe admits that the Pats aren't doing so well.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Frank is a Pats fan, to be honest.
This is silly.
And he's just moonlighting just to be included in the chat. Sonny, yo, Ariel, thanks as always for everything you do. As 2022 comes to a close, where do you stack it up against the other big MMA years? Also, do you have any fun ideas for the upcoming 30th anniversary of the UFC? Love the new question time, by the way. Your homie, Sonny. You know, I hope the UFC makes a big deal out of their 30th anniversary. Bring back, you know, it would be cool, like, bring back, I don't know, the winners of the first 10 UFCs, or bring back every imagine they bring back every living UFC champion. It probably isn't that many. How many do you think it is? 40, 50? Bring them all back. Have a huge ceremony for them. Do something big. Honor your history. Honor your past. 20th anniversary, 25th anniversary was like let's do it up. One idea that I brought up last year, UFC 30, whatever you want to call it. Name the 30 greatest fighters in UFC history, like the NBA did with their 75th anniversary. Wouldn't that be fun? And then you bring those guys out, or gals together, guys, gals. I would love that. 2022 has been a solid year. Not sure if it's like one of the great. I feel like it's been pretty good. A lot of surprises, upsets. I still think 2016 is the greatest year ever, but it's been solid. One more pay-per-view to go. But I would love to see them do it up for the 30th anniversary. Bring in all the big dogs. Rank them. Let's have some fun. Abe, hello, my friend. All defeats are costly, but can you think of a result that has had bigger implications for one's career/life than those 2 judges scoring the fight wrongly to Jones over Reyes? Crazy, right? What happened after that fight? Everything's changed for him. If Reyes wins, absolute superstardom, the guy to beat the GOAT, they probably try to rematch it, right? But then, of course, the pandemic hit, so who knows what happens. If he loses, then a possible trilogy after the rematch. Instead, he's on a 4-fight skid, may even be contemplating his career. Any other matches you could think of having bigger implications? I mean, Jan's knee to Aljo, right? P.S. Thank you for those 35 minutes with DC. It was too short. I could have watched you guys hobnobbing for hours. Had a blast. Much love, your boy Abe. I know. It was too short. Kind of feels like we fumbled it. Like we waited all that time for a 35-minute drive-by. Come on, DC. And then he tells me he was super early to his next appointment. But yeah, I mean, Jan Aljo, even Jones Smith still maintained Smith should have taken the belt. Who else? I mean, it's hard when you ask me to rack my brain. There's so much in there. The ranking ones are tough. Make a note of that, Lewis. The rank, name your top 5 this, your top 3 that. It's tough, what do you think I am? Some kind of circus monkey?
Wait a minute.
What?
I thought you could do anything.
Yeah. David, hello, Ariel. Who do you think is next for Erin Blanchfield? I'd love to see her against Casey O'Neill or someone like that. Or someone like Viviane Araújo. Yeah, I mean, that'd be tough for O'Neill to come back against Erin Blanchfield. Hopefully O'Neill will be good enough to fight on the Perth card. Let me see flyweight here. Blanchfield is 10. Jennifer Maia? That'd be a fun one. Oh, wait, isn't Jennifer Maia fighting this weekend? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lauren Murphy? Maybe 2. Caitlin Chukagian? Tough one. Andrea Lee? Someone like that. Ahmad, salam alaikum, Ariel. Wa alaikum salam. Loved seeing you with Schultz. My question is, how different it is being interviewed rather than being the interviewer? And did you feel some sort of freedom in that role since you weren't the one directing the flow of the conversation? Much love to you guys. P.S. You missed the perfect chance to say straight up, stand up. I think a lot of people would be surprised. I mean, I've been interviewed plenty of times before, but there are certain shows that you go on, Schultz, one of them, McAfee, another one, where you could just, Lebitard, where I can like really show that's actually more the true me than the one you see sitting here. Here I have to be very proper. Frank always tells me before the show, like, stay straight, straight and narrow. Don't go crazy.
Get that smudge out of your glasses.
Yeah, smudge out of the glasses. Don't smoke a cigar. All these things. But no, great studio, great group of guys. And my favorite thing to do when I go on Schultz's show is to drop the BS lines and see how uncomfortable, because like comedians, when they're around other comedians, they love to laugh at each other's jokes, even when they're not funny. It's like this thing that they do to prop each other up. And I respect it and I appreciate it. I'm just dropping zingers left and right, like true comedy. And they have to no-sell me because, they're being loyal to their friend. You notice that? Like I'm out comedieing. What is it? I'm out comedying. I'm out funnying the funny people. Right? Can I get an amen?
Yeah, sure, man. Amen.
I guess you don't agree. Tony McGregor is asking. Dear Ariel, Don Tony here. I'm wondering, what did you make of Stan the Man's question / approach to Dana at the post-fight presser last weekend? Also, when he referenced you to Dana, I was anticipating that Dana may bring forth some unwarranted name-calling, his usual go-to scumbag, goofball, etc. However, to my surprise, you could see a few veins bulge in his forehead. He refrained from name-calling. Maybe that means that brighter days are ahead. It got Don Tony thinking. Ever since the High Road Helwani era ended and the Helwani era began, Dana, to the best of my knowledge, hasn't trashed you publicly. He spelled it thrashed. Maybe he meant thrashed? Trashed. Have you found since this new glorious era that people don't mess with the king anymore? I mean, Don Money, you said it, not me. What did I say around this time last year? What did I say a little over a year ago? You come at the king, you best not miss. They don't want this smoke. Because, listen, I may not be the strongest guy in the biz. I may not be the toughest guy in the biz. But verbally, I mean, it's 10-7s all day. It's very, very one-sided. And so I think that that's the fear. If I'm being honest, I saw the clip that you're talking about. I think there's a very good chance he had no idea who the question asker was referencing. They were talking about the Stipe thing and the John Jones thing, and that was a real thing, and I don't even think he really refuted it. I don't know. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's like these little sort of like intricacies of the relationship. You guys love this shit. I could not care less. Could not care less. Not could care less. That's one that always it gets me really all fired up. It's all good. I'm doing my thing. They're doing their thing. We're all very happy. They're sleeping on that side of the bed. I'm sleeping on this side of the bed. And guess what? One day we'll converge and we'll make sweet love to each other. Well, no, I'm just kidding. I wasn't sure where to go.
You just say one day we'll appreciate that we were in the same bed together.
You know what? That's very nice of you, Frank. I appreciate that. The way you put that together. That was good. Yeah, it's all good. And I don't know. I don't consume all the interviews, so I'm not sure. Has he? Has he not? I mean, usually someone sends them to me, but I have not seen. So maybe you're right. Maybe there's something to it. Tanner. Hey, Ariel. Tanner here. Quick question. I will be a first-time dad early April. Wow. Congrats, Mazel Tov. What are 2 do's and 2 don'ts post-delivery to support my daughter/wife? Oh, okay. I was like, what? Am I the only one who thought that was weird?
I had to take a double.
What? I was like, what are you talking about, bro?
Maybe start by referring to my daughter and wife.
Yeah, that is weird.
That's a to-do.
I was like, wait a second. Your daughter's your wife? What the hell, man? Daughter/wife? Well, I would be very helpful, very considerate. It's not about you. Those first couple of months are not about you. I mean, you do whatever you need to do. Wake up, help out, go the extra mile, make dinner, cook dinner, clean up. I mean, nothing. Like nothing can compare to what they go through. So just be extremely unselfish, be extremely supportive. Just be there. It's really like I've said this to other, soon to be parents as well. Like you just have to be there. You just have to be present. You just have to be available. You just have to be unselfish. That's really the best advice that I can give you. It is not about you. You're just along for the ride. And even the baby and the mother are going to have a different kind of connection than you are going to have. Like, I mean, like the baby's going to almost like latch on to the mother, for comfort, for shelter, for food, and you don't provide that same refuge. So just be aware of all of that. But it's a great time. It's an unbelievable time. I'll never forget it. I think about it often. I see other people going through it for the first time, and there's a part of me that's like reminiscing and nostalgic, and I see the way older people look at me and my kids, and they're 10, 8, and 6. And now I'm the same way looking at other people who are new parents. And I start to think about my time as a new parent. And then I know in 10 years, I'll be looking at the ones who are 10, 8, and 6. And it all goes so fast. And just try to appreciate every moment and be present and be as helpful as possible. So I wish you guys the best. Muscamente MMA asks, Hola Ariel, question for GC. Am I dreaming this? Or did you get your BJJ purple belt within the last few months? If so, congratulations. And how is it going? And if not, would you or any other member of the team considering practicing BJJ or any other martial art? Thanks, and big shout out to the whole team from the Helist to the Helwanis, or excuse me, the Helist to the Helwanis.
Heliest.
P.S. I think we got the most mysterious Frank moment ever in the Chris Gutierrez interview. How he covered the camera for a second just gave me the chills. Tell us about that, Frank.
When I walked in front of the camera. Did you see this guy's avatar as well?
Is that your back?
I don't know whose back that is, but it's weird.
That is weird. GC, do you have your purple belt?
He's not mistaken. I did receive a purple belt, but it was my verdict. Purple belt for correctly predicting so many fights. Brown belt soon to come. No, I did not get my BJJ belt. I cannot claim that. I have respect for anyone who's done that.
Isn't that a weird thing to dream of you getting your BJJ? Like, what is the?
I've also had that dream.
No, he didn't have that dream. He saw me do the purple belt on the show. I just don't think he heard that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or maybe he confused you with Alex Pereira, who just got his brown belt.
Shout out. I'll soon be joining him with my verdict brown belt.
That's right. It's a big deal.
Yeah. I'm going to practice as soon as Frank starts.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll go together.
You guys going in together?
Just waiting on him.
Okay.
Who do you think will get black first?
You.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
I believe in you.
There's a lot of honor that goes with BJJ. It's not just...
Oh, yeah. Can you hear that one?
What are you doing this for? Do you need a doctor?
It just starts to get...
but we don't have to do it right on the mic.
I mean, it's kind of cool.
MMA hour with ASMR.
Hugo knows. Hey, Ariel and crew. Hope you guys can help me in this situation. Last Monday was my birthday, and I started it off right with the CKB takeover show, and the birthday wishes just kept piling in. Yet, as the day went by, no response from my best friend. I held back from reposting stories on social media. The day ended, no response. Went to dinner with my girlfriend and reposted her story, and he saw and wished me a belated happy birthday. This isn't the first time he forgets my birthday. We're supposedly quote-unquote boys, been there for each other through thick and thin. Would remember, yet he forgets about his boys. Oh, for other people he would remember. I think Lewis made a couple edits here. Oh, trim for time. There, I see it. Because there's like some blank spaces. What a guy, Lewis. For other people he would remember, yet he forgets about his boy. That's what hurts. I've yet to speak to him and reply to his belated B-Day message. Wow, left him on scene. What should I say? Am I being exaggerated, too petty? Let me know. What do you guys think? So to recap, because I had to kind of read it on the fly, basically his best friend forgot to wish him a happy birthday and only did it as he started posting things on social media. Is that basically the gist?
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, so he eventually did wish him a happy birthday?
Yeah, but only once he started reposting the stories.
Man, I don't know. Who knows what's going on in his best friend's life? Is he busy?
True.
Something going on?
Honestly, it's actually kind of funnier when your friends forget and you're like, oh, thanks for noticing. What I usually say is there's a 10 a.m. cutoff, and if you don't get it in, it doesn't count.
Whoa,
Like 10 a.m.?
10 a.m., yeah.
No shot, man.
I mean, you want these people, the first thing they do in the morning, to be thinking of
that's
your
weird,
birthday.
right?
Listen, put a calendar reminder, 8 a.m. By the way, I don't want to call. Don't want to call. Don't want to FaceTime.
You don't want to call.
I do not want anything, but I want to know that you remembered and that you are putting me as a top priority on that day. You're sending me a text, have a great day, and that's it. And maybe we'll talk
Scrolling
later,
through
but
my
probably
phone
not. I couldn't be bothered.
To see what time you sent me happy birthday.
When's your birthday again? It's
It doesn't
Memorial Day.
matter.
It's a Memorial Day time. I remember. It's around that time, right? That's when you had the birthday that you claimed you invited us to, but no one actually showed up because you didn't invite anyone to it.
It may have been around that time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'd like. I'd like a text, and that's it. Now, if you miss the cutoff, I'll just make fun of you and be like, I'm a better friend than you. Move it along.
10:30, someone sends you one. Move it along.
He missed the cutoff.
If it's 10:30, I'll make the comment. I'll make the 10 a.m. comment.
Wow. I mean, I would feel like 2 p.m. is better when
10 a.m., you're in the midst of the day. Like, you're already at work. You're already flowing. If you didn't get it in by then, ta-da.
I mean, you have a summer birthday.
Oh, this is too
slow
bad.
mornings. Please tell us, Frank.
My phone only goes back so far because Ariel had to get a new number.
Sorry, there's a lot.
Which weirdly,
This
day was my mother's birthday.
This is a weird thing because there's like a developing story happening right now involving one of the biggest stars in the sport.
Is there an update?
Yes, I just got a statement. In summation, New York Jackman says, this is how big of a mess this situation is. New York Rick says, New York Jackman, be a grown man and get over it. Who cares? Don't you have something to do with your life? That's his response to Hugo Knows, which I think is a bit harsh. I mean, here's Hugo.
That's harsh. I mean,
Yeah.
what's going to happen when, his daughters are through the teenage years? There's
Open
a lot of
up, New York,
dramatics.
Yeah. Here's a statement from Tim Simpson, who is Izzy's manager. Israel was handed a gift by a fan, which he put in his luggage. When flagged at the airport, Israel quickly disposed of the item and cooperated with authorities. He has complied accordingly. With that, the matter was dismissed, and he is on his way home.
Well, that's good news.
Oh.
So, yeah, TMZ distorting the facts.
I mean, seems like they
definitely got the clicks on the whole arrested thing. And
I have more breaking news on this end. Going back to the texts.
Yeah.
Helwani's birthday text
Yeah.
I received at 9:19 a.m.
Oh, man.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun,
All right,
dun,
well,
dun,
with this
dun,
window,
dun.
do you appreciate like a midnight text after
Yeah,
you're already asleep?
12:01. Is that what we're looking for? Does it seem also kind of like you're phoning it in?
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, so you're looking like 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. window.
By the way, I have to say, this is pretty fucked up from TMZ, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
like,
like, the more I
Jesus
think
Christ.
about it.
The more I think about it, let's just read how they wrote this and
We'll start with the headline.
But again, like, and the UFC loves this is like so. The UFC loves TMZ. They love TMZ because they're so obsessed with getting the rub from TMZ that they will parade all their fighters to TMZ. I mean, Izzy talked to them before. I saw the interview, and there's good people I'm sure that work there, and yet. This is how you treat one of the stars. Israel Adesanya arrested for brass knuckles at JFK Airport. Israel Adesanya was arrested Wednesday afternoon. Arrested for criminal possession of a weapon at JFK Airport in NYC, TMZ. But no mention of any of this other stuff here. And in addition to that, you even put in like the charge of convicted. Like to me, I would love to know, and this is all happening in front of our eyes, between how long was he quote unquote arrested and let go? Because how do you put the story up at 1:04 p.m. Pacific, which is 4:04, and not know? So he got arrested here. It says 1:57 Eastern. So that's like a 2+ hour difference. Was he detained for those 2 hours? Because the way it's, I mean, this is crazy.
I'm sure somebody on the floor was like, "Yeah, just still run it. It's fine."
I mean, it feels a little reckless. No, I mean, look, I'm not trying to dismiss the fact that this happened. It happened. You got to report the news. But if it really happened like in as quick of a time frame as being presented here, feels like an incomplete story here. No, like you see this. Casey sent me this. I was like, Israel Adesanya arrested for brass knuckles at JFK, and you're like, all right. By the way, look at the picture that they chose. Do you think that's
I
a
still haven't
coincidence?
pulled it up. Can you show us?
Oh, well. The picture, I mean, I could send
I
it
see
to
it
you.
now. Oh my gosh.
He looks like he's drunk.
Yeah, it doesn't look great.
Right.
I mean, mid-blink.
Yeah, the dude
Maybe
was...
he just left one Vanderbilt.
It's just crazy.
This is TMZ, though.
I know, but come on. But what pisses me off is like, you will send... I heard that, by the way, Frank. You will send your guys there. Like, they respect TMZ more than they respect us. You will send your top guys. You will gladly send them. You must send them. You must talk to them. And this is how they treat you in return. It's whack. It's complete whackness.
What did you think I said that you said you heard it?
You said something about Vanderbilt.
Yeah, well, number one Vanderbilt.
I don't appreciate that in this time. Izzy needs our support in this time, okay?
Got it.
All right? I'm going to tell him that you said that. This guy came in on the Monday after a loss. Again, gifted it by a fan to him. Gift from a fan to him, which he put in his luggage. So it's exactly what I said, right? It's no different than toothpaste. I don't know. Oh, legend. This is a great. I asked Tim if he could come on the show to talk about this, and he said he's at GQ Man of the Year with Leon, and he sent me a picture of him and Leon, which you probably can't see. Leon is wearing one of the all-time great tuxedos. It's like a purple tuxedo. Man, the Leon glow up is something else, right? No one wants to say, "Wow, yeah, the glow up is great." All right, I think that's that.
Good job.
All right, so it seems like no harm, no foul. All good. We'll have Ash on in the future, but it's time to go. What do you think?